All right, here we are. We have our plastic bag. This is a pretty decent garage floor, but into my spray brake fluid anywhere, I keep a plastic bag on the floor so it can catch the fluid. And then I can just wrap the bag up and call it a day, throw it away. All right, I have my brake cleaner. I'm gonna spray this for a few seconds, clean it up. All right guys, we are back. I'll remove this plastic bag that I had here for trying to catch all that brake clean. The first thing you need here is a thin nose pliers. I have one here, a needle nose pliers. That's because we're gonna remove a lot of these springs and components in here. We'll start from the top and then go underneath afterwards. So the first thing you have to do is remove this spring right here. This is the spring that holds the rear shoe. So this is the rear shoe, this is the front shoe. So there's two ways to do it. You can just go through this little hole right here. This thing still rotates, so you can get your pliers in here. And I'll just pull this out and release the spring. All right, that spring is out. All right, I'll put this on the floor here. And I try to keep everything organized on the floor down here. So I'll keep the parts the same way I remove them. So I have a reference when I have to reassemble this whole thing. Then I'll remove the forward spring, forward return spring. I can get it from the top here. And that one's out. Sometimes they're hard to come out. Sometimes they won't even come out. So here it is, it comes out. Put it on the left side, the forward side. And then there's a spring right here, you can see it. This is the spring right here. This is the rear return, I guess. They call it a different one, but it connects to this connecting rod right here. You can't get it from the top. You could probably try, but you're better off getting it through this little hole right here. So I'll line that up. And then there you go. Remove this one. And there's only one of these springs on each side of the wheel. So there's only one for the rear. It's always in the rear shoe. And the other side has a rear, only one. So there's not two of these. So when you get your hardware kit, and I recommend you get new hardware kit, then there's gonna be only one of this type of spring in the kit. We're just gonna pull these two shoes apart, if it will. And there it is, it came apart. And I'm gonna try to pull out this connecting rod. Let's see if I can show you here. There's a little metallic rod that goes across, and we have to pull that out. Now that's kind of crucial because the kit, the hardware kit that you get, usually does not have this replacement part. So it's a good idea to keep this after you remove it. Here it is. Connecting rod. This thing is really dirty, but I'll have to reuse it. As far as the top portion of the brake assembly, we're done. We're gonna go under to the bottom here. There's some more springs down here, and we'll take that off, and then we'll go with the shoes afterwards. So we just did the top part up here. Now we're gonna go to the bottom, remove this spring right here. There's only one spring. This one can be a little difficult, so this is also in the way of your adjustment tool. So if you did have to adjust your brake, your parking brake, you have a little rotating adjustment tool thing right here. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about that because all we're doing is trying to get the spring off. I think it's a pain in the butt. All right, so I got one side out. I'm not gonna try to waste any energy trying to get this one out. Oh, there it is, it's out. This spring has seen better days. As you can see, it's kind of twisted and warped. Now that that is out, we're gonna remove the adjustment tool, which is this thing right here. And that usually just comes out. So here you go. So the other half is in here. There it is. All right, guys, we are back to our normal view here. We're back to the center of the hub. And then just one last thing we have to do here to get these brakes off. It's a tricky one too. So let's do the forward one first, only because the rear one is more complicated. So in theory, all you have to do is just use your pliers, push inward on this clip, and then turn this either clockwise or counterclockwise. So I have a screwdriver here that sometimes I'll apply some pressure like this. I'll try to turn this. Let's see if I can do it. Boom, I did it. See that? Now it's vertical. If I release this now, boom, it drops. And that's what you want. Remove this. There you go, take that off. And then this brake assembly should just come out. Boom. I come back over here on this side now. Now this one is tricky because even if I remove this, there's something else holding this shoe to the assembly, which is this little pin right here, this shiny pin. So I'll do the same thing again. I'll use a screwdriver to add some pressure on this while I rotate this counterclockwise. I said it doesn't really matter. Push it in, turn it counterclockwise. Now this can come out. There it is. I'm gonna zoom out here a little bit, make some space. Once I pull this out, you can see this whole assembly here is being held by this little thing. And this is the actual actuator that goes all the way to your brake handle. So as you pull this, this pulls out, expands the brake, and then this touches your rotor. I'll move it a little closer in here so you can see it. And all you can see there is a pin, like a horseshoe. You just have to remove this horseshoe from the pin, push the pin out, and then you're free. So I'm gonna try to put this in a position where I can just use this pliers to push it out. See, it's almost out there. So I can just pull it out this way. There you go, pulled it out. Probably easier ways than that, but there's a little washer here. Take that off. Here it is, take it off. And then this should just come out. There it goes. Here's your brake shoe. This should go like this, back up. Don't know if it'll stay or not. And here's your brake shoe. Just take this pin out. You're probably gonna need this again, so here's your pin, save it. And now, if you look at the ground, you should have somewhat of an assembly of how to put this back together. All right, guys, we have all the parts here, and we have our new parts here, our new shoes. The point here is to have the parts laid out the same way as you took them out, or as a reference so you know what parts you need. Now that we have all our matching parts, everything seems to be fine. The only thing I don't see in this one is this connecting rod. As I said, we'll have to reuse that. Besides that, they want you to grease some parts in here. The only parts that you should consider greasing are the moving parts, which is gonna be this connecting rod. You wanna grease it right here and right here because this brake shoe will expand and contract. So you wanna have some lubrication right there. And your adjuster. This one is really bad, like really, really bad. So you also should lubricate right here and right here so this can spin freely. That's it. Okay, so we're back. All the parts already lubed up. Got my parts here all greased and lubed, ready to go. So now we're just gonna start the reassembly process. As you can see, it should go like this. So Put this pin through here. There you go. A lot of grease on there, but it is what it is. Put this washer back on here as well. New clip back on here. Wow, that was actually fairly easy. So next thing is to remove this and replace it with a new one. So just gonna push this out. Put the new one in. Boom. If you can just line this up with this hold, and there's a little bracket here to keep it in place. So, compress it. There it is. All I have to do now is just put this through the hole. All right. So now the problem is, I say problem, I have to do this back in reverse and try to get this pin back in here. All right, where's my screwdriver? And where's my pliers? Okay, I have them here. I'm doing this with one hand, guys. Press this with the pliers. And then now I don't have a hand to twist it. This sucks, man. Yeah, see? This is the problem I have. This is super hard, guys. They want you to push this and then twist at the same time, which doesn't work. So what I end up doing is using the other hand to push. Damn it. This is near impossible. You see the difficulty? I'm gonna try and do this off camera and then show you afterwards. All right, guys, we finally got that clip in there. That thing took a while, but there it is, it's in there. So now we have to do the same thing for this side. Hopefully this one goes as planned. All right, put this in here. Oh, I got it. That was a fluke, but I'll take a fluke. All right, that was in there. Whoo! All right, so we have the front one in. We have the aft one in. It's coming together, guys, slowly. All right, so now that we have the top done, we're gonna go from reverse. We're gonna put the adjuster back in here and then put the spring last. Okay, so we're now back underneath. I'm gonna try to put this adjuster back in here. There's enough space in here. Put this one in there. All right. We're gonna install or reinstall the spring. Or it seems simple, but it's harder than it seems here. All right, so I got one in. All right, wish me luck. Let's see here. All right, the bottom is done. We just do the top part and we should be good to go. Okay, so we're back to the top part now. This should be relatively easy. Let's hope so. So the first thing is to put this bar back in there. Make sure you have the spring portion facing the rear. I have it also greased up. This should spread apart pretty easily. This should face up. All right, let's try to put this back in. All right, try to spread these apart a little bit. Get this out the way here some more. All right, we got the left side in, the front end. There it is. Wow, guys. All right, wasn't the most fun, but it's in there. And now we put the rear spring on, the one with the Z, this one here, Z spring. All right, it's kind of hard to see, but it goes right in here and then connects on top there as well. Put that in there, needle nose pliers, and then just hook this. There it is, that one's in there. All right, last two goes right here, and that's it. All right. There you go. All right. Here we go. Boom. But there it is, guys. Two top springs, return spring, bottom spring, adjuster. It's all in there. Congratulations. Okay, it's time to reinstall our rotor onto the hub assembly, wheel assembly here. So new rotor, we're just gonna open this up, then clean it with some brake cleaner. There you go. Our new brake rotor. I'll just clean it here. I won't clean the outside surface because this surface is available to me all the time. I'm going to clean the inside here and the inner surface. It's a nice little shop rag. And then we're good to go. All right, so as you remember, when we took this off, it was a pain in the butt to get it off because of this ring right here. So I'm gonna take some sandpaper and actually just clean this surface around here so it can slide in pretty easily. Let's find out. Let's see if this works. So I have my two screws here as well. One here vertically. So let's see if this goes on. All right, so it's not sliding on, and that's probably because the diameter of this right here for the brake, the parking brake, is smaller than this diameter right here. So I'll have to adjust this down here to make it smaller. Compress it. That's down. Let's try it again. All right, this should be it. All right, there we go. I'm not gonna adjust it again. And we're gonna be doing a process to bed the brakes, the parking brakes into the rotor and the pad into the rotor as well. Last thing is to reinstall these bad boys that we slit earlier. Like I said, the hardware kit didn't come with one, so it's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Pretty simple. I'm sure you can find these bolts somewhere else, but for now, that's all we have, and it didn't come with the hardware kit, so. We're good. That's the hard part. Easy part is to reassemble the caliper bracket and then the caliper, and then we should be good to go.